Good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and start, and I at least can start on the minute 4:30 since we're a special called meeting. Again, I'll apologize to the three petitioners for the inconvenience of being rescheduled, but I'm also happy that we could pull together the commission with a quorum in such a short turnaround time. So with that, if calling the meeting to order, we've done that. If we can have the roll call. Oh, Alisa, see, you're back.
I'm back.
Welcome.
Chairman Miller,
Here.
Vice Chair Pruitt,
Here.
Here.
Ms. Fritz,
Here.
Vaughn,
Here.
here.
Okay, and thank you. Obviously, we have a quorum, which is 5. So I will go to the next order of business, which is review of the minutes from our February 27th, 2025 meeting. These were emailed in advance as per protocol. So I entertain any questions or a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as written. Is there any further discussion on the proposal? All in favor of approving the minutes signify by raising your right hand. And that looks unanimous. So the next order of business is committee reports. Are there any committee reports? And then we turn to old business. Actually, we have 3 items on the agenda, and the first one is the request for a certificate of appropriateness for alterations and rehabilitation at 157 West Main Street. Ed Rouse is the petitioner. So, Mr. McKinney, you're going to do the present, obviously, because Ms. Hudson is out. So,
yes, sir. So here we got 157 through 159 West Main Street. That's how it has it on the survey. Here's just an aerial view of it off of West Main Street downtown. Then here's just, it was kind of hard to come with historical photos. I actually went across the street to the Prattville Museum. And we got this when the Great Flood came down here, 1930s. It's the white building with the 2 windows up top. And then here's the 80s, what it looked like. And what they're proposing to do is paint or refresh the already painted brick. Second floor. And then they would like to replace the windows. The 2 windows up top, and then also in the rear. And then they would like to replace the doors. From my understanding, the bigger brown door is to remain, and then the white door. Okay. Okay. And then here's the just the proposed look of. And then the back, what they would like to do with the terrace, they would also like to. It won't be connected to the building. They would like to respect the the brick, no drilling into the brick. And then here's also design of what the terrace could look like with. So they will have to provide a door on the second floor. Fire code requires it. Fire marshal, they're requiring a exit door on the second floor, so they'll have to carve that out. Any questions? And obviously, the petitioner is going to go into more detail.
All right. Any questions at this point for Mr. McKinney? So next, Mr. Rouse, you're on. If you'd like to come to the podium. You don't have to leave. You stay. And point of order before we proceed, Ms. Rollins is going to recuse herself from consideration of this petitioner's request. So who's going to go first?
Ed, tell them what your intent is on this second
So-
floor.
Well, my intent on this second floor is to make a place to live. I'd like to, downtown has become a real trendy place with the across the creek apartments and everything, and I would like to use this building for something similar. My family, distant family, built the building in 1879, and my family, closer family, has owned it for many, many years, and then I've owned it for, I guess, maybe 35 years. I don't know exactly the number, but approximately 35 years. It could be 33, it could be 38, but about that long. And when the building was built, there never really was anything done upstairs. The downstairs always was functional. One side was always for rent, and it had a variety of things, generally clothing stores. And then finally, the other side was where the Prattville Progress was, which was the newspaper my family owned. And one reason that the building is black is because newspapers were painted black back then. I guess like fire trucks are painted red nowadays. But that was just a traditional something that was always done. So the low part's there. And in this particular case, they had painted, the lowest part black and the upper part silver. And I don't know why silver was chosen, but it has been that way forever and ever. I don't know if it originally was painted in 1879 or if that was painted sometime later. Nobody seems to know. So anyway, but I'd like to make a place to live there, and it will require very few modifications to the exterior of the building. We don't want to change anything. One thing I always want to make sure people understand is, yeah, I own the building, but I'm just the caretaker of the building. When you get something old like this, then you really do become a caretaker, not I mean, yeah, you know, things always have owners, but you become a caretaker. And so what we'd like to do is make it look like it looked in 1879, and any of the modifications that we have to do, such as a rear fire egress, that, you know, was not, you know, it's hard to imagine you could build a building like that and not have a rear fire anything, but you had those wood stairs you had to come down, so if you had a fire, I guess you were just plumb out of luck. But anyway, we don't want to really change anything at all. We just want the building to be updated. We want it to look like it was built in 1879, and we want the doors to have that same kind of look. And it's a little difficult the downstairs doors are the original doors, the double doors, and it's hard to get a double door and make it look like a single door. So the best thing that we could do is make it look like it was part of a family of doors. Like you see things nowadays, you see appliances that come in families, and you see doors that come in families, and we would like to put a door there and get rid of that Lowe's door and put a nice looking wooden door there. So anyway, if you have questions, address me, and then my architect here will give you his 2 cents worth.
Yeah, and as far as replacing the
Yeah,
exterior,
excuse, just hate to interrupt, but if you could just state your name and,
Joel Chance.
and address.
Okay, I'm working with Ed, you know, on his project,
So, okay, that'll do.
project architect.
Thank you.
You know, as far as the windows, we look to, you know, replace the look that's there now, but, you know, the codes require, that will be a couple of bedrooms on the front facing Main Street. So those windows will have to be operable for egress, but we do intend to put a wood windows in there instead of vinyl. And I don't know if you guys would be okay with a wood cladded window, you know, which is more of a residential, you know, style one that's got the wood look, but it's a wood clad, you know, the actual interior structure isn't wood, but it does have a wood feel to it. And then as far as the terrace on the back, it too is a code issue, and I really like what Day Structures did on their building with, you know, the steel terrace, you know, kind of giving it that, you know, industrial look. We do have, you know, the mill downtown, and it does have that industrial feel, so I just felt that would be the, you know, the direction to go, and with the, you know, the metal awning, you know, covering the terrace on the second floor. We would also like to go in and patch and repair the, that raised platform where the back 2 doors are on the first level, and go in. I was looking at, you know, maybe getting that painted, patched, put some lattice work in there, you know, to kind of bring it up and replace those bottom windows as well. And the building will also be separated as far as the residential business compliance between the business and the residential part of the building with rated walls and ceilings. So we do plan to rate and fire protect, you know, the residential side from the business side. And like Ed said, just, you know, make sure we touch up the brick and, you know, if we paint.
And the rear being never painted, we would like not to paint it. It never was painted, so, and the sides as well, were never painted, so we would like them, you know, that's how it was, so we'd like to keep it like that. And one further thing in regard to the terrace on the back, we would like to not connect that to the building. You know, heaven forbids if anything backed up and banged into a column, we'd rather it be a freestanding something and just shake that thing rather than, you know, going through and transferring to the brick of the building and that kind of thing too. So, you know, we hope that never happens, but, you know, we don't want to do anything to damage the building. That's just the bottom line. We don't want to do anything to damage the building.
And we are looking to use on the interior a lot of the original doors that were from the original building, as well as a lot of the flooring that has come up, using it, cutting it, and use it in as the wainscot for a lot of the interior walls. So we're taking a lot of the existing materials and putting them back into play inside the interior of the building. Yeah, large.
A big share of that will be. Not too many walls in there.
Yeah.
But we do have, what it had when it was originally done, and I don't know why, but I guess this is just how some things were done. It had beadboard ceilings, it had beadboard walls, it had beadboard everywhere. And some of these pieces of beadboard were 20 feet long. And so we were, you know, able to, you know, when we were getting rid of mess, we cut off the junk and sent that to the dump. But we kept everything that we thought could be salvageable.
And you also have a mantle from the
Yes.
original Pratt home that
Yeah.
we're going to put over the fireplace on
Yep.
the interior.
Yep.
And when Ed was looking at it, you found a date
I
on the
found the
back of
date
it.
on it. Matter of fact, when I was a little boy, my dad had gone to the Pratt home that was being torn down. But anyway, it was being torn down, and he paid somebody $25 to haul this mantle from Daniel Pratt's home and take it down to that building, and it got carried upstairs, and it sat there for about 60 years. And so here, nowadays, I have gotten that mantle out and started looking at it, and I have disassembled it. It was put together with screws. And so I unscrewed it and have taken this mantle and stripped it and made it as pretty as I can make it. And then we discovered on the underside of the mantle were Roman numerals that said 1843, which is the year that Daniel Pratt's home was built. And we want to preserve that. Of course, it's on the, it's on the bottom side of the mantle like that, so it's not something you come see, but believe me, I'll have a picture of it, and you'll be able to look right up underneath there and see it if you'll, if you'll duck down. And there's a lot of things that are old and original to the building that I have, and I would very much like to preserve as many of those things as I can. We don't want to change. We don't want to change things. We have to have a modern bathroom and things like that, but we don't want to change. We want it to look like this building was something that met code.
Yeah, met code.
Met code in 1879, if there was such a thing. That's our goal.
All right. So any question at this point?
And I believe you answered it, but to clarify, on the painting, you're only looking to paint the brick where it's already been painted?
Correct.
Everything else perfect?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The sides have never been painted, and the rear has never been painted, so.
And then,
You're right.
second question, you wouldn't be interested in doubling your money on that mantle, would you?
I don't know that I'd be interested in that. I mean, maybe two and a
Just tell him
half
no.
times.
Just
maybe.
tell him no, keep it short.
But it's a beautiful thing. If you'll, before we get out of here today, if you'll let me find a picture of it, I'd be happy to show it to you. It's a beautiful mantle. It's a beautiful mantle. It has a mirror above it, and the mirror is not a very good mirror. It has a lot of speckles and things in it.
Which is
But,
good.
we want to keep that mirror so that you can stand there and look in that mirror and say, Daniel Pratt stood here and looked in that mirror. I could replace it with a big fancy new mirror. Don't want to do it. I want to make it look like,
So I'm gonna, this is exciting, but I'm gonna let you guys sit down.
yeah.
Because per protocol, I have to have a public hearing. I don't see anybody that isn't associated with well, maybe Mr. Anderson. So, but I'm going to call for the public hearing on agenda item number 1. Is there anyone in the audience that wish to speak in favor or against this or make any kind of comments? Okay, I will close the public hearing. And now, commissioners, you have proposal number 1 before you. I do have a question. Just to clarify in my mind, on the front, you're keeping the original wood door,
Yes.
replacing the one that goes upstairs.
Correct.
What about that other door,
No, that door stays.
as is?
The two double.
You can come back up.
Okay, the two double doors, just to give you some background on that. Daniel Pratt had a sash and millworks right across the creek. And we know that these buildings were outfitted with doors from his thing, his company there, or offshoot, or whatever you want to call that division of his stuff. And these doors are just the old original doors. They're not, I mean, they're old doors. They're 150 years old. They wouldn't stand somebody going in and out of them 60 times a day like some other thing would have. But for our purposes, I think they'll last another 100 years. Anything?
So, commissioners, any other questions?
And then on the back, we're replacing the 2 doors on the bottom, right? And the top
Yeah,
middle bay?
They're old.
Right.
And not very good.
Okay.
And we would like to, we want the front of the building and the back of the building to be all good and look nice and
Right.
structurally sound and everything like that. When you get a building this old, every now and then you gotta replace a few things.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I have a question about adding the second door, on the second floor, on the back. How much brick are you going to have to remove to get the door that you're wanting in
Well,
there?
we'd like to put a double door. Would you like me to see? We'd like to put a double door with some side lights. Because after all, standing up there, we've got a wonderful view. We can look down the creek and up the creek and, you know, I'd like to be able to look out the,
About that point.
yeah.
there and about
What we, yes,
About 3 feet on both sides.
Yeah.
I think I was calculating.
there's a little,
Beam that's above
there's a
that.
beam that limits us some, but this space and this space and, you know, approximately that right there. So, you know, a little bit wider, but not anything. We want it to be,
Symmetrical, yes,
Yeah.
that's the word, that's a good
Yeah.
word, yes.
yeah, that's our goal. We want it to look like it was designed that way.
So clarify, again, you mentioned you had some comments about the windows. So you're looking at wood or wood-like material?
It would be a wood clad, being that it's like a veneer, but it will be a wood window. I mean, we could go solid wood, but that gets very pricey. But you can get that same look in a window that will last years longer if it's a wood cladded window. Kind of like a Pella or a, you know, Mason, Anderson makes really nice wood. But it's got a wood look to it. It will have a wood look.
Okay.
So, it's a lot better quality and a lot better look than just a win, or a vinyl looking window that you see now in most houses.
Any other questions?
I have a question. There's two, forgive me if I've missed something. There's two front exterior elevations, on page 7.
I think it's just mislabeled, that's the back.
Okay.
Yeah, that tripped me up too.
Yeah, that's just it's just labeled weirdly.
It's
Okay. And then the steps coming down, how would,
Basically, I did an elevation without the stairs, just for clarity to see, so you could see what was behind the stairs. And then I did an elevation showing the stairs. Oh, yeah, that's just a misspelling, I'm sorry, I see that now. I need to change that on the drawings, yeah, that should say rear exterior elevation.
And then the one with the stairs is at the very back of the packet.
That's on me.
They seem less big than what is on the front thing.
What's the other page of
It's on the very, very back. Oh, yeah, there's no.
Right before 2.
Right before the,
But
do you have it? Oh, man, I got lucky.
Oh, you have the secret information.
All right, I'm a share.
Okay.
There it is.
It, yeah, it was on the mail out,
There we
but
go.
some of us don't have it in this one, so. Yeah, they go halfway down at like there.
Cut back, we'll turn back.
Thank you. So any other questions? All right. Can I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the certificate of appropriateness for 157 through 159 West Main Street as submitted.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve this petition as, or this proposal as made. So is there any further discussion on the part of the commission?
The application says wood or wood look. Are we approving wood or are we approving wood clad, wood look? Which,
Yeah, I assume the wood clad with the look, since that was the intent. Do we need to?
well, I was just asking because it says on here, it says made from wood or a material. So I just didn't know if we wanted to clarify one or the other before we approved it.
That might be a good idea. Would you like to make an amendment?
Y'all don't want me to make an amendment?
Oh, okay.
We'll go wood, we'll go straight wood without the clad, we'll make that happen. I'd rather go ahead and do it.
Okay. I'll make an amendment that we approve the wood windows instead of wood look or wood clad.
Okay, we have an amendment to the motion to approve wood windows as opposed to wood clad. Is there a second to the amendment?
I second.
Okay, a motion and a second on the amendment, so we are now voting on the amendment to the motion dealing with the windows. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. Okay, and that passes 5 with 1 abstention and 0 no's. So the amendment is now, the amended motion is now properly before us. So we'll now take a vote on the motion as amended. All in favor of the motion as amended signify by raising your right hand. Okay. And that passes also 5 ayes and 1 abstention. So thank you. I would say that this is exciting. It's nice to see somebody with a passion and a heart, and I think that applies to both of you, but especially you, Mr. Rouse. And you truly have a gem. So,
I hope that it will become even more so.
yep. All right, and thank you. Y'all don't have to stay. You're welcome to stay. So, but we appreciate you, and also again our apologies for having to reschedule you. So.
Things happen, folks.
All right, so we'll move on forward. Our second order of business is a certificate of appropriateness for a sign, 341 South Chestnut Street, Carla Bowles petitioner. So, Mr. McKinney?
So here we have 341 South Chestnut Street. Here's just a location of it, just south of City Hall. And then what they would like to do, this is a 6x10 State Farm sign, wooden sign. That's not correct? Okay. Metal sign. That's the building.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Bowles? Ms. Bowles, approach the, state your name.
Chairman, if you don't mind, Robbie Anderson, I will speak for them. I'm helping with the application and fabrication of the sign.
Okay, thank you.
So what we have, just like Mr. McKinney said, just a simple 6x10 metal frame built on the same design all over downtown, just like the fence that's just immediately north of here that was approved on the vacant lot. The sign looks remarkably like the rest of the ones going down First Street. There are no signs on Chestnut, but all the businesses as you go east on First Street have similar type signs in front of them, 1 or 2 metal, 1 or 2 wood, 1 or 2, I'm not sure exactly what are. They're the older ones. But that's the request, is to put this on the corner where it can be seen from both directions at an angle. So right off the front porch, angling directly to the intersection. And that way the face would be seen from both streets instead of having to try to worry with two signs or whatever placement. Be happy to answer any questions about the design or the location.
Is, I'm sorry if I take a point of privilege. I meant to also mention that Ms. Rollins is recusing herself from this agenda item
That's what Carl
as
bumped
well.
me.
So that ain't gonna happen with the third one, so that's why she's hanging her,
Why
unless
did you
there's something I
why did
don't
you even
know.
come?
Was there? So, anyway, so getting back, seriously, I forgot where we were. But I did want to ask a question when you mentioned the location of the sign. Is that in any way going to block visibility of cars turning?
No, it's actually, if you look at the overhead, there's actually a tree that's closer to the corner. This would be between the tree and the house. There's,
I think I drew a little like this. Would it be like?
mind if I step up closer?
Come on. Would it be like right there? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, be right there, but be
Angled.
angled towards where the two streets
Yeah.
meet. It's going straight to the,
Okay.
it's like a 45-degree angle to the house.
Like
So both
there.
streets can see it.
Yeah.
It's on
Okay.
the back of that piece of paper.
Where is it?
Is that little,
Look up there, I don't know if it's on there, but see that red
Right.
dot?
Maybe
Is that
hard
the
to
right?
see, maybe hard to see.
it's,
Yeah, right here.
Yeah,
it's on that.
Oh.
That's the actual-
Oh, okay, I see it. Okay, yes. All right, gotcha. All right. I did not see that. I could not see that on here.
The only question that I had was in regards to lighting. Have you got plans for lighting?
No plans currently to light that at all, just, there's a street light on the corner. Would
Gotcha.
be a little cheap. Use that one.
And the metal, what color is it gonna be?
Black.
Okay.
Like I said, and that's the same color scheme and same metal size that are used on the rest of the downtown fence work and sign work.
But the State Farm red as depicted,
Yeah, that's the sign face is not metal. No, it's the metal frame is the black metal, and then the State Farm face is the red and white State Farm colors,
so that's made out of what?
plastic. And it could be changed out. The face could be interchangeable, but that's actually a picture of the face. It's actually going to be moved from the 1300 East Main Street location, the face.
Okay.
It's already been fabricated. We just got to fabricate a frame around that exact size. Because they've, obviously, I don't know if you know, they are moving their location from 1300 Main Street to 341 South Chestnut. There's not going to be two locations.
I don't have a question, I just have a comment. This is one of those scenarios where our guidelines don't really fit this, even though we've thought we covered everything. You can never cover everything because this is a commercial building, but it's residential in nature. It's not, and our guidelines for signage are based on, you know, the actual Main Street, those setback from the sidewalk buildings instead of a house with a yard. So we're just gonna have to use our best judgment on that.
Thank you. So any other questions at this juncture for Mr. Anderson? Okay, if y'all have a seat just for a second, I'm going to go ahead and get, per protocol, get the public hearing underway. So is anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against this proposal, item number 2, this signage?
I'd like to speak for it.
You don't count. All right, so.
Okay. Thank you, Jason.
If you are serious, you got to come down to the podium, state your name and address. All right, so I got to get control of this meeting. So anyway, public hearing is now closed. So is there any further discussion on the part of the commission?
So the red, for clarification, so the sign itself is vinyl, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And it is a historic house.
In the historic district, yes.
So the guidelines say vinyl signs are prohibited. Would maybe a better option to match the house? I would think.
Yeah, that's where I'm, the vinyl inside the thing is just going to kind of just look like a billboard out there. And it is a residential home. Right. Well, it's historically residential, but it's not, but it's commercial, like what, Ms. Pruitt said, that we don't have specific guidelines around this right now.
That's kind of why I brought that up, because the reason the vinyl signs are prohibited is because if you were to just drill a vinyl sign into the brick on Main Street, that would be a huge deal, and that's why we have that. But this is a different situation, so.
So this is a residential building, but used for commercial purposes, correct? And it's zoned commercial? Then in my opinion, I would consider it a commercial building at that point.
It's
because
been in
zoned
commercial use for a number of years. I can't not remember the last time that was a residence. Because Bob Burton had his law office there first, and then Blue Halo's been there for 8 or 10 years maybe.
Yeah.
And then they've moved out and made it available.
The zoning itself is neither here or there because we're not the Board of Zoning, but the whole point, is the Main Street versus when we say residential setting, we mean the fact that it's a standalone house versus all of the Main Street buildings that are right up next to each other and brick and all that stuff. So that's where the distinction would be for that, for me.
Help me with that, clarify.
So, historic commercial buildings, right? We have all this information about what is and isn't allowed on historic commercial buildings. But if you read them, it's very clear that they are written for brick, downtown, right up next to each other, commercial buildings. When I'm saying residential, the zoning is not my purview. It is how it was intended historically. It's a freestanding house. So that's why I was making the point that all of these historic commercial building guidelines don't necessarily translate
Yeah,
as
square up.
easily.
They don't square up with,
So that's why I was saying we just have to use our best judgment on it because it doesn't really fit in that. I'm not saying I'm pro or against. I'm just saying it doesn't really fit neatly into our boxes.
Yeah, I agree with that, because if they were changing the porch, then we would be looking at our house rules, right? Like this isn't, yeah.
Question for you, Mr. McKinney. Do we have any guidance on the size of signs for, the 6 by 10? That it's hard to put that in scale, and it being reused from, probably a wider Main Street. I guess I'm just looking at the images here, and I wonder how big that is going to be, if that makes sense.
Are you saying like zoning?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're well within the zoning ordinance. Yeah, this is just 60 square feet, so once it gets over 200 square feet, or around 200 square feet, that's where it'll be an issue.
Yeah, because the only one we have here is new signs shall be proportioned appropriately to their storefront.
So how we measure that is, so the length of their front facade, and then you do that times 2, and then that's what they get, or 200 square feet, whichever one is more restrictive. kind of paraphrasing there, but, yeah. If that made sense.
So that is a big honking sign, isn't it? Because this table would be what, like 3 by 8?
Tate.
You're recused. You can't talk. So is the plastic part 6 by 10?
Roughly, yes, within an inch or two.
And just for clarification, I saw 6 by 10, but it's actually, the sign graphic is 4 by 10.
Correct, that's
So,
correct,
yeah, I
that's
don't want to
correct, yeah,
mislead
that's
anybody,
correct.
but, yeah.
It's two
2
feet,
feet of.
2 feet off the ground to the bottom of the sign, 4 more feet of the sign.
Of plastic?
Yes.
So plastic's 4.
Basically, it's 4 by 10, or maybe slightly less than 10, but it's in a 10 by frame right now, so the frame will be the same size. Won't be as big as a Trustmark sign down the street. That's also plastic, so.
Any other comments, considerations, thoughts?
I have a question. How many signs downtown are vinyl with metal versus wood? Does anybody know?
I do know that when you turn that corner, there are other businesses, but their signs are, are all like encased in wood. Like I know there's a couple of law firms that have them in like, that are shorter, I guess, on the ground.
Personally, my interpretation, I don't really have a problem with the vinyl inside of the metal. It's the size, because that sign is built to be able to be seen from a car driving, 55 miles per hour, and you're going to be going 15 or walking. Hopefully everyone's going 15 or under.
Right.
And walking.
Yeah, I think my issue is the size and the height.
I guess I should clarify. I don't know. So I haven't measured the facade of the building, so I'm not entirely sure if, whether or not it is within the zoning ordinance, but I was just telling, how we measure that, I guess. So I guess that would come later when it's up for review.
And we do all completely understand wanting to reuse the sign you already have. We totally get that.
I guess I could measure it right now if y'all wanted me to, but.
I believe it's 35 feet wide,
It's just closer to the.
is what I believe, is what I believe.
Block that much of a view. Oh, yeah.
I can't say anything, I'm not sure.
That's right. You can.
Do you have like a Google Street View of what?
Of the other
is going on
signs,
around
yeah.
it?
Yeah,
So Robbie believes it's 35, the length of the
of the front porch, yeah.
facade, so they get 70 square feet, so.
So we're actually asking for 40 though, so.
thinking of the ones that are around the corner, there are a couple that are that big, but they're closer to the ground, so they're not like blocking the view as you come into downtown. They're not blocking the view of the historic, you know, home that is now a business it's in. I think that's where I'm struggling, is the,
You're talking about on First Street?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're trying to look at the signs?
Yeah.
Yeah, down there. See, there's one there, right? But it's, that one's little.
Right.
And then there's
And that
another one
one.
that's bigger, right?
Yeah.
But,
The biggest one's at the end.
Yeah.
Moon and Melvin's gonna be the
no,
biggest.
that one, yeah, so that one, but they're shorter, right? They're not that tall, I guess, is what I, yeah. Well, cause when I walk past them, I'm not,
Oh,
I'm not taller, or like, I'm a little bit taller than them. So that's what, and I'm 5'7", so
Yeah.
that's where. I guess I haven't walked past that last one.
Yeah, get a little closer on that one, so.
That one, I don't know if I know the size of that Blue Melbourne one though, cause I don't. But that's sort of what it would look like, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then there's one across the street at the pregnancy center that looks similar as well.
What
I
are
think.
we, like that Moon and Melvin, what do we think the dimensions of that, the Moon and Melvin one are? Does anybody? Because I think I'm agreeing as far as kind of the size and scale, that I would be, you know,
Yeah.
to mimic that size and scale.
Yes.
And I know that you don't probably get to reuse your sign, but my fear is the same thing on the corner. You get this big monstrosity, and that right there, to me, that doesn't bother me very much at all. So does anybody speculate, anybody got any ideas on what that could be?
can you measure it on there?
I don't think that's 10 foot long, right?
I don't think this is the right Google Earth for
Yeah.
measuring.
Yeah.
I was,
How long is the sidewalk?
4.
There might be in those three buttons.
Yeah, the one, two, yeah. Nope.
No,
Nope.
Okay, you're right. So is it 4-foot sidewalk or?
Maybe, it may be 5 in that area.
So it's probably like, right? Don't you think? 'Cause
Maybe a
the
4 by
neighborhood
8
just
sheet.
said the right of way is 5 feet.
I guess that just helps determine, kind
Right.
of where we are scale-wise.
Could we issue a certificate of appropriateness on the caveat that we go measure those signs and kind of take the average, or, whatever we're comfortable with? I don't want to send them away without, I don't want them to have to come back since it's already been rescheduled once.
It was shorter, I don't know if I.
I really want to just look up.
Oh, do you think they had a permit?
Yeah, I think that would be fine, just so the caveat that it stays
Like, you want to say no bigger than,
no
or?
greater than.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bigger than, yeah.
Okay.
So what about the trust mark sign?
Don't
But
push
that's
it,
like
Robbie.
part of the
No,
bet.
just kidding.
Well, I mean, we're trying to get to a solution.
Yeah, yeah,
Building, so,
yeah.
yeah, it is a bigger building,
And it's in a parking lot.
yeah. This is where we were talking about that issue.
Did they-
of It was built as historically a residential.
Mhm.
It was not built to be a business. The Trustmark building was built to be a business. And that's where a lot of our, when we talk about commercial signage, a lot of it was written for those buildings that were built to be businesses. So that's where we are
Yeah.
having trouble with this.
So I make a motion that we approve a certificate of appropriateness for the sign with the caveat that the sign itself is no larger than the dimensions of the Moon and Melvin sign? Is that
Including height.
including height?
Total exterior
Right.
boundaries.
Yeah, exterior boundaries. I haven't seen that sign. I feel like it's new.
Not super new. It's,
Yeah.
it just doesn't stand out too much because it's black and white and kind of, I mean,
And it's the largest one on that street,
mm-hmm.
besides Trustmark.
What about the one across, how big is the one at the pregnancy center? Can you scroll to that side? It's similar as well.
Yeah, that one's, not as tall, but yeah. Moon and Melvin looks taller. Yeah, it does look taller. Yeah, the Moon and Melvin one looks taller. I'm struggling more with the height than the width of the sign, I guess. So, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that? If they just shortened the sign, the stand.
Since I made a motion, do we have to vote on it first, or do we have to?
Oh, it didn't get a second. I think you can
That's right, okay.
withdraw it.
Well, then I'll withdraw my motion.
Huh? Yeah, you're right. Uh-huh. All right, there's no second to the motion made by Ms. Taylor. So, did you want to make a different motion?
This one's hard.
I don't know what the different motion should say, because I don't really know what I thought we agreed on the Moon and Melvin, but I am not correct, so I don't know.
So you're talking about asking the proposed face be lowered, is that what I understand? Instead of being 2 feet off the ground, it'd be 1 foot, or
I don't know.
what's the number there?
I don't know. We might as well just, can we remake that motion? I don't know.
So am I understanding the plastic itself is not so much of an issue as the total size, width, and height? And we're trying to crosswalk it with what's there on that street. And, keep it in the scale and scope of that from a size perspective. So, if that's what, the will of the commission is, that sounds like a worthy motion.
I'll second your motion if you make it again. What? I couldn't remember your wording. I'm sorry. I was still
Okay.
thinking.
I make a motion that we approve an amended certificate of appropriateness to reflect the signage be lowered. I don't know what was agreed upon. I can't.
I think it was no larger in scale and scope than, and that includes, not only the width and height, total
Right.
dimensions. So that would include how far off the ground it is.
Okay, not
Which-
to exceed the exterior dimensions of the Moon and Melvin sign.
In toto,
Including-
from ground up.
Yes.
I second that.
All right, we have a motion made and seconded before us. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by raising your right hand. Okay, that passes unanimously.
And so I'm clear, what is exact my rules now?
So the signage, the material and everything is approved, visuals and whatnot. It's that the dimensions, exterior dimensions in terms of width and height don't exceed the Moon and Melvin sign.
And off the ground as well.
Yeah, total,
Yep.
from the ground up.
Do you mean
That's
the
two
top?
separate things.
Do you
though.
mean
There's
the-
the top and the bottom.
So what do you mean by, help me?
Are you talking about the height of Moon and Melvin or the start of Moon and Melvin?
I'm talking about where it comes to the height of my chest when I'm standing next to it.
That doesn't have anything to do with the off the ground though. That's what I'm trying to clarify.
Oh,
That's up
okay.
to, I mean, I think that's up to you, how far you want to put it off the ground.
Okay, that's what I'm,
Yeah,
that's what
we're
I'm
saying
asking.
the exterior box,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's,
so if it goes all the way to the ground, that's
That's fine.
fine. If it goes 5 feet in the air and it's 1 foot wide, that's fine.
Yeah.
sure.
But you
I'm
got-
just trying to be sure what.
I
of-
get you,
of
I
what-
got
what-
you.
What y'all
I
are,
was thinking your spread is your free space between the ground and the
Right,
bottom of the
right.
sign. So if you need to, narrow that from the current 2 feet, but you still are in that box of.
And
overall height, no higher than Moon and Melvin, overall width. And anything in there is fair game.
Yes.
And Mr. McKinney, the certificate of appropriateness will have those dimensions on it, right, when it is issued? Can it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just, I mean, I don't want them to have to go out and take a tape measure, okay?
I'll go out and measure.
Oh, yeah, I'll go to tape measure too, I'm curious.
All right, so, anything else?
Not this month.
All right, and you're raising your hand, yeah,
I wanted to clarify, that sign is a 9x7, if that provides you any assistance.
Great work.
Yeah, so it looked bigger, that's why I was a little worried about it.
Y'all didn't see her leave and go measure?
you went and measured it?
No, my friend did.
Seriously, well, thank you.
Just text me and said, the sign's a 9x7, I stopped.
So
by.
9 this way, 7 tall?
He didn't say.
Great, so we get an extra foot.
To be.
We're going higher.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Well, that just helps us realize that it wasn't as big as we thought.
Yeah, and I appreciate you appreciating our struggles with this when it doesn't totally square up and fit a category that we've got. Anyway, I do appreciate that because it's obviously, when a little thing turns into a not so little thing, so. And
All right.
thank you for that extra information. All right, thank you. All right, we're going to move to item number 3 on the agenda. Okay. And the petition is 410 South Northington Street. I think windows, doors, and repainting, petitioner Jacob Nami. Mr. McKinney?
All right, so here we got 410 South Northington. What they would like to do is replace the windows, replace the doors, and repaint what is already painted. So here's an aerial view of it. Just north of Doster, the Doster Center. Both are non-contributing to the historical district. So here's the first one. Replacing the windows, what they would like to do is use similar windows to the Doster Center. And then they would like to replace the doors. It's going to be similar doors as the Doster Center. And then repaint the front of the building. And then they also, there was 3 metal columns. They replaced it with cedar. So.
I wanted to clarify, said repaint the front of the building, but it's just repaint all the exterior trim, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah,
It's not my intention to paint the roof at all.
perfect, thank you for clarifying that one.
All right, Mr. Nummy?
So I'd like to start out by apologizing. It's evident that I got the cart before the horse. I received some information that has proven to be incorrect. I now know that I have to get y'all's permission to do this. So I appreciate you presenting this, and I think you did a great job. Basically, just what I'm trying to do is the front windows, they were originally what you would find in a 1960s mobile home, single pane. They sweat real bad. As a matter of fact, you can't even lock them unless it's just a wooden rod behind them. They had started leaking, so I had, window sill damage on the inside. So my hope is to just match the Doster Center the best I can with a commercial storefront. It'll have the same type of sheen. It won't be extremely high reflective, but it'll be that normal low E kind of reflection, just as you see on the Doster Center. Same thing with the doors. I'm just, going to do my best to match them. The door that I included on there, the one on the right, that is as similar as I can really find, but it will have the sheen. It doesn't really show it in the picture, but it'll have the same sheen as the windows that I'm placing. And it'll be a total of 7 windows, all of them across the front, and then I believe there's 2 that face the Doster Center on that little shared driveway right there. The reason that I'm wanting to go with the commercial storefront, all 3 of the doors I could see through, especially on the back side, those 2, they're not guarded by anything, so the sun, wind, rain hits them. Matter of fact, one of them, the bottom of the door was rotted out that much, so I'm just looking to have something more durable for, the tenants whenever they do rent. And as far as the painting, like I had said, it's just the trim, and it'll be the same color that's already there.
And you said how many windows?
7 total, I believe.
Is it all the windows?
No, sir. So this house, or this structure was built in 2 different phases. The part that you see from the road is the original structure. And then I think about 15 or so years later, there was an addition done out the back. So it will be all of the original windows on the original structure. I would love to replace all of them, but my finances won't allow that right now. But all the ones facing the street directly will be replaced.
And if they match Doster, the single pane?
Yes, sir.
So, and how will they open, just open out or
They will not be
non-opening?
functioning. That's
And
right.
that's okay with code, I take it? So,
It's a commercial building.
It is a commercial building. The other windows, are operable, and, there is fire signage in there. So to my knowledge, it meets all codes.
Was it originally built as residential?
No, sir.
It was,
It actually started out as Kirkland and Stewart. That was my grandfather.
it's what now?
Kirkland and Stewart Accounting. It started out as that, and then I want to say League of Prayers Ministries rented the back portion when they built it, and then Cecil Seaman has occupied it since and has now left.
Because it looks like it could go either way, residential or commercial,
It's-
just,
I understand,
Yeah.
where the question came from, but it's always
far as
been
appearance.
commercial.
And just to clarify, your preference is to put the commercial
I-
doors and windows?
Yeah, and a big reason, there's multiple factors for it. One, as you notice, these windows are kind of oblong. So just in an effort to try to be consistent with the surroundings, you see more of that on that street because there's really not any residential just on that section. So I was just trying to be consistent with my surroundings. And also, with it being commercial storefront, they're far easier to build and manufacture to fit that specific hole. And it will allow me more flexibility on fixing the window sills inside. And also, obviously, I just want to be as efficient as possible, just due to the sweating and all that. You know, I don't want my tenants to have a power bill that's astronomical. But it is my intention, you know, down the road, as finances allow, to have all windows, whether you can see them from the street or not, the same.
All right, any other questions at this juncture? Okay, if you'll have a seat. I'm going to go ahead and convene the public hearing for item number 3. Is anybody in the audience want to speak for or against or make any comments relative to this petition? Seeing none, I close the public hearing. So any further discussion by the commission?
I would say just, I guess we got 2 in the same meeting where it kind of falls in that commercial / residential / fill, and so just interesting that here we've got 2 of them in the same meeting.
Yeah.
I propose that we approve the certificate of appropriateness as presented.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve this item as proposed. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving item number 3 as proposed signify by raising your right hand. And that passes unanimously 6-0. So, thank you and apologies again for the rescheduling. So, yeah, thank you. All right. So, is there any miscellaneous business, anything else? And if nobody on the commission has anything, then we will adjourn this meeting.